I was thinking about talking about grants and contests and finding shows and how you go about finding that stuff. I feel like it's this weird thing. I guess my status is emerging artist. There's like an established artist or a professional artist, and then there's emerging artist. And I guess that's my status. But I'm almost like pre-emerging artist, because it seems like most grants and shows and things, they're looking for somebody who's been showing in galleries and working as a professional artist for at least 3 years. It's this weird thing where contests and shows want you to have this experience in order to get them or to get into them or to be applicable. But who's going to be the one to give you the experience so that you can be applicable for these other shows? That, I don't know, so it's this weird game. I feel like I'm really more looking for contests and grant awards than I am looking for shows, just because the prize money I can use to fund more projects. But I feel like this sort of thing, like applying to contests and shows and grants, it's no different than applying to jobs or anything else. Like, you're gonna have to apply for like 200 to hear back from 1 or 2. And they're so time consuming. Like, they need, you know, your resume, they need an essay, they need portfolio shots, sometimes they need rec letters, sometimes they need like a budget. Whatever you want to apply for, there's like this huge packet that you have to turn in. It's really hard because, again, the thing an artist wants to be doing the most is being in the studio making work. But you want to be able to show your work, right? So you have to be applying for these things. So I'm really working right now, how do you budget your time so that you are working on your website, you are working on your web presence, you are applying to shows and galleries and contests, but you're also making sure that you have new work, you know, to show. What's the point of applying to all this stuff if you don't have any work? In the description box below, I'm going to put the links that I go to a lot for looking up contests and shows and things like that. My favorite is, it's called Artist Opportunities Monthly, and it's like AOM, and they have a free version and then they have a pay version, and I did the free version for a while and I just started doing the pay version. They send this huge PDF once a month full of art opportunities and residencies and shows, like all over the place. Some of them are like paid and juried and some of them aren't. When you pay, you actually get 2 PDFs. You get like a bonus PDF, so you get the free one and the paid one. So I think it ends up being like 70 pages total, like in a PDF of all these shows, and you have to read them and follow the links and see if you're applicable. It's so funny. And so I had just gotten through May's, and then I got June's in my email box, and I was like, no, you know, because it takes me so long to go through all these links. But what's cool is that they separate it into category, like, so there'll be like illustrator, painting, I don't know, installation, whatever else, and that, so you can kind of search by that. They also separate it into region and all this stuff, so it's like, it's really extensive. I mean, so they're putting in all the work to like put all this together and find all this stuff, and then, so then I have to put in the work to like read through it and everything. But what ends up happening is I really only end up being qualified for maybe 5 or 10 out of all of those, and then I narrow that down to the ones I actually like really want, and then those are the ones that I apply for. But what ends up happening is that I have friends that are photographers, painters, friends that are looking for shows in specific regions or places in the world. I put those in a side list and I'm texting those to my friends because we gotta help each other. It's hard to be an artist. Anytime I see anything that I think applies to somebody else in my art community, then I'm like zipping it over. So that's a really good one. I also really love the College of Arts Association website. You can like build this profile, so you can search for jobs and residencies and art opportunities on their website, but they also, you build your own profile with your resume and your portfolio images, and then schools and whoever's looking for specific artists, they can look for you, and you can put in your categories, minor, performance, and I'm not sure, I can't remember, sorry. So that that amazing opportunity that I had in Boston in February, where I did a week-long workshop at the Peabody Essex Museum, they found me on the CAA website, and that's how they contacted me. I think it's like $100 or $125 for a membership for the year, and you get some kind of I think it's called Art Journal, like I get a magazine subscription from it. And they send you emails with opportunities and stuff. You know, with both of these, with AOM and the CAA, I do end up paying for those, but it ends up kind of being worth it if I get opportunities out of it. Some of the links I'm going to post, it doesn't cost anything. Something that I'm running into that's really hard is that it's very easy to apply for contests and things when you fit into that box. So there's like tons of painter contests or tons of sculpture contests or photography, illustration. My husband Clint, he does comic book work, and I love to research contests for him because it's so much easier because he's a comic book artist, and so that's what he applies for. But my work's kind of fashion, like it comes to the body, it's kind of sculptural, it's kind of installation, like it's kind of wearable, like it's like I don't really fit into like any. So sometimes I'll see fashion contests and I'm like, maybe I could apply for that, but maybe not. Or it'll be like an installation show and I'm like, yeah, I guess it's installation, you know. So this is something that I'm struggling with, trying to find how to situate my work when it doesn't really fit into a category. If anybody else has struggled with this or is struggling with this and has any thoughts or feedback. As an artist, you know, you constantly want to be working through ideas and developing new work, and that takes a budget. You know, you have to buy supplies, you have to pay performers or whatever it is that your work is. But again, you need these shows on your resume to like move forward. But so a lot of shows that you apply for have an entry fee to apply. Not all, but a lot of them. Like it's like $35 sometimes, or I don't know, sometimes it's like one for $35 or three for $50 or something like that. So that's just something to keep in mind, that a lot of stuff you may have to pay to submit, and it does drive me crazy because I feel like there's always things taking from artists and nobody wants to actually pay artists. But yeah, so I think finding shows, finding contests, it takes a lot of research. You do want to apply to as much as you can, in my opinion. Don't waste time applying to things that you really don't have a good chance of getting. If you don't think that you're like a good fit, and it takes so much time to fill out those packets and you gotta pay the entry fee and stuff, so I would like really make sure that you focus in on one or two that you're like, man, I could get this, and that's what you apply for. And then don't get discouraged because you're probably only gonna hear back from a couple, and you're gonna get rejected a lot. You just gotta keep pushing through, and you just gotta keep caring. You just gotta be like, my work matters, then I'm gonna do this. Actually, you're gonna get one. And then that funding goes back into your work, and then and then you make more time to apply for more contests and grants. And I think a lot of people think like, oh, somebody will discover me and I'll have this great show, and you really have to put in the work to expose yourself. I think you can do that through social media. You can do that by signing up for different things where you can have profiles. You're gonna have to find shows that you're a good fit for and making these spaces aware of you, and networking with people that maybe they can point you in the right direction or introduce you to the right person. And I would love if anybody wants to email me or tell me what this process is like for you and any tips that you have, and I would love to I can make like a follow-up video about what other people have said that works for them. Or if you want to send me like a video clip, I can collage them all together. For me, when I feel like I haven't shown my work in a while, then I just do like a public performance. That's my work. My work is performative. And I put those on my resume because I do the performance, I have somebody shoot it, I have my documentation. Just, I want to make sure that I always have something that I'm working toward. You know, if you work in 2D, but you find like a wall somewhere, just like have like a pop-up show. And tell people, be like, I'm having this pop-up show on a wall somewhere. So, I mean, definitely you want to have shows in galleries and, get your work out there. If you're having like a slump where you're getting rejected a lot or you're not hearing from anybody, then just make it happen for yourself in that period of time until you get to the next. I mean, if I have any advice for people that are in the same like art rat race, just like keep being your biggest cheerleader. We had Theaster Gates come and talk at our commencement ceremony in grad school, and he told us that, I think he said that he graduated in his early 20s and that he didn't really make an impact in the art world until like maybe his late 40s, I think he said. This is paraphrasing, but and he said, what happens? What do you do between your early 20s and your late 40s? And you just have to find a way to keep caring, because nobody else is going to care for you, because you're going to get knocked down, and you're going to like, for me, like there's some days where I'm like, if I haven't made it into the studio in like a week, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, am I even an artist? And I like, tons of self-doubt, does my art matter? And that's good. Like, if you're not asking those questions about your art, you should always be questioning your art. But, but so as you're like jumping into this process, like just keep caring and keep trying and keep advocating for your work, because eventually people are going to take notice. And if you have any tips on that too, how do you keep motivating yourself when you feel very discouraged? Send that to me also. I also want to know how other people balance making time for the studio and making time for finding grants and finding shows and updating your website and everything else. I don't know. So yeah, I would just love to hear from other artists about this. Okay, so coming up, let's see. I'm gonna try to get my friend Annie in here to talk with me about our process so far with trying to open this gallery and the ups and downs and all arounds, because it's been crazy. So I'm still gonna try to pull this costume out really fast for Clint. We're going to San Diego Comic-Con in July, and we would love to have it to wear around and do cool pictures with and stuff. So we'll see if I can pull that out. And so I'll try to do a little vlog where I talk about my process for making a sketch a reality, because that's always really fun. I have lots of topics that I want to hit just about creative process and how to challenge yourself outside of academia, and just I have like a list of things that I'm excited to kind of just throw out there and create dialogue about. And like I said, maybe I'm gonna do a couple of these a week, maybe I'm gonna do them every other week. I can't, my life's so crazy, as you will start to see. I can't really promise a specific day or time. So I'm gonna keep you on your toes. You're like, when's she gonna post one? Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with me on this art blog. And I seriously, I love feedback. I love, even if you hate it, tell me if you hate it. In fact, like, please tell me if you hate it, because that's gonna like light a fire for me. So I love hearing from people. I'll probably, if you tell me what's going on with you, I'm probably going to incorporate it like into my video. So send me your video. Send me your thoughts, send me your everything. I'm going to put my email below because I am asking for all this feedback. Is she in the video? This is my cat. She wanted to say hi. I'm gonna put my email below with all that other stuff that I'm putting below, so that, because I keep asking for all this feedback, so you can just directly email me. After I posted my vlog last week, I found out that one of my friends that's in Japan, she's a graphic designer, and she has a vlog about being a graphic designer specifically in Japan, and I checked out a couple of her stuff. It's really cool. So if you're more into a graphic design route and less of a crazy fashion performance fine art route like that I'm on, maybe you might find some cool stuff on her channel. So I'll put that below also. I have 2 random stories that I'm going to tell that are about funny animals and sweets, and it has nothing to do with art. So if you don't want to watch this part, that's fine. I just wanted to share some laughs. Earlier I have a kitten. She's actually been climbing up. I don't know if you can hear it, but she's been climbing up. I had bought a little cup of donut holes, because like I'm sure people have moments like this where you're just like, I need a donut. Like I have such a craving for a donut. So I got myself this little cup of donut holes. I was like super excited. I was eating them. Like days had gone by where I was like craving donuts. And I had like one left, and the cat reaches in with her little paw, and she just like pokes it, like she's like taps it with her paw, and I'm like, no, because I was so excited about these donuts. So I went to text my husband to tell him like that this had happened, because he would understand like what a tragedy this was. And our cat's name is Catwoman. So I was texting him, Catwoman poked my donut hole, which sounds so strange and weird, yeah. But it auto-corrected Catwoman to Cattleman, because that's autocorrect. And when I thought I was sending it to my husband, I like wasn't paying attention. I accidentally sent it to my mom, and it said, Cattleman poked my donut hole, which, what? So she writes back, I'm at a swim meet. I think she was like really freaked out, like, what is this? And I tried to explain it, but the damage had been done. So then the other story is, today I was working this event, and I had a cookie in my purse, like a big cookie, and I think my problems involve sweets. Apparently I have a sweet tooth. But my husband and I love chocolate chip cookies, and we've been complaining a lot lately that we didn't have access to any chocolate chip cookies. So I bought one, and we were going to eat it later this week, like as dessert. We were going to split it. It was really big. I had it in my purse, and out of nowhere this dog with a tutu like finds this cookie, pulls it out, and is like eating it. And so again, like I had to text my husband, a dog with a tutu stole our cookie. Which which is like a fabulous text. So twice this week I had a problem with animals messing with my sweets and then the weird text that comes from it. And I just had to share those really crazy stories. And I'm actually gonna close this video with a slow-mo video of me running down a hill in a tutu just because it made me laugh. And if I haven't said that yet, the biggest goal of my work is to use silliness as a starting off point to spread good cheer. So if I see, so that's what I'm going for.
Go for it.